welcome back to another game. This is from the Fair Civ Cup semi-finals. I was actually lucky enough to cast this with Liereyy, which was a great series, but upon seeing this game, I had to do a solo cast on it as well, put it on the Forgotten Empires channel because it's absolutely crazy in terms of what we see. So I'll put a link to the rest of the commentary, the rest of all the games that I did with Liereyy, so you guys can check out the rest of it. This is a random game from the series, so it won't spoil anything, but it's cool to see. So go in, check out the entire semi-finals, even check out the finals as well. It was absolute insanity. So there'll be links in the description, guys. Please go check them out. So as for the matchup, Fair Civ Cup, the idea is the player that lost the game beforehand would actually move into the next one and be able to essentially give two civilizations. The winner of the last game would pick one of those civilizations to play as, and the loser would then play the other civilization. So really, really cool format for a tournament. I'm not going to tell you who picked what just because I don't want to give anything else away apart from this game. So, semi-finals in the red, we do have TheViper playing as the Huns. His opponent, of course, going to be Liereyy in the green, playing as the Magyars. So Magyars, big thing to kind of take away with them. Overall, do get the free forging upon hitting the feudal age. So scouts, if he decides to go, which, look, Magyars, pretty scout heavy civ, we're probably going to see that, is they're going to have the +1 attack, which gives you a little bit of an advantage over the Huns, which are obviously not going to have that. The Huns, however, do have the 20% faster working stables, so they'll have more mass, but the Magyar scouts will be stronger. So we'll see how that plays out. The map as well, if you do want to have a look down here, is a valley, absolutely beautiful there. So essentially we've got this dried up river through the middle. We'll have all these patches of deer, so players are kind of... they don't have to go out to the center, but if they go to the center, they can kind of take all this extra meat here. So it means this is a map that Mongols was pretty much exclusively played on for a long, long time. Because you would just come forward with the mill, get all the deer, and use that hunt bonus as much as possible. But in higher level games at this point, we're definitely finding players are less likely to push out to the center here. Because if you do with a couple of villages, some scouts run in with a couple of spears and just kill off all your villagers, it's pretty much game over. So you've got to be very, very careful for it. As with the base layouts, we'll zoom out a little bit to have a look at that. We do have the Viper has a nice back gold, nice back stone, nice back stone. Very tournament Viper kind of map for him, luckily. Does have the boar in the back, took the front boar first as well. Didn't give Liereyy any opportunity to steal that. Can wall this off relatively easy through here as well, and I think that looks full there. Sorry guys, for visual effect, we don't have small trees on. We don't have grid on either. So I hope everyone likes that. In fact, if you want grid and small trees, let me know in the chat. I just find it much more visually appealing like this for commentaries. So it can wall off across here, and then it's just got this front section to worry about, which is quite open. Liereyy, on the other hand, still has this nice gold, not fully in the back, but pretty close. Has a secondary gold quite close as well. Stone in the back, kind of nice, but for Magyars, I guess not the biggest deal in the world. Can wall off this section here, but berries are quite close. Same goes for his wood line. I guess we'd have the same thing from Viper if he did wall to here. So we could probably see just a wall off across here. Lierey's already started here, across here, and then probably just to the edge of the map there. And he's looking pretty good, and he secures 2 golds and a stone behind that. So not as lucky as Viper, but you know, it's not bad. And oh man, this is an annoying boar to have here at the front, but check this out. Liereyy, being the micro god that he is, just going to run the scout in front of the boar to slow it down ever so slightly every now and then. And should get away with that one absolutely fine. Look at this. That didn't even go for loom. He doesn't care. Of course, going loom a little bit later in your build means you will have that villager out a little bit earlier, getting loom at the end. So, oh no. Alright, I'll take back what I said, guys. Maybe not a micro god. If you had the scout there, maybe that villager just got hit, turned around, and really went for it. That's an absolute shame. So we'll pull this one. So Liereyy going into this match, actually a villager behind in terms of the population overall. And let me swap this over on the bottom for you there. But 19 to 18, 20 population to 19. Viper should, yep, he's queuing up loom, so he's just about ready to go up. We will have a little bit of trouble there from Liereyy with that one lost villager. As far as walls go, of course, no houses for Huns, so really no bare bones out at the moment. Viper probably going to throw down his barracks, and palisades, I guess, is the real option for him. Actually goes to 2 lumber camps on the same wood line as well. A little bit more uncommon. Generally, we'll find players kind of split between 2, split lumber. Most of the reason behind that, though, is so if they get harassed over here with archers or scout and have to call them back to the town center, they'll still have a secondary working wood line. I think that's exactly what Liereyy is going for. So a little bit more defensive, but I guess that's Viper just saying he's a little bit more confident in the play here. And look at this. Here come the big palisades. Up around the back, making things a little bit easier for him to kind of hold off, and actually pushing in more deer here too. So really kind of push that advantage as much as possible. Lierey's been doing the same thing though. This map, like I was saying, absolute abundance of deer throughout the entire front of the map here. Other than that, at the moment, we're basically just waiting for both players to hit into Feudal Age. Of course, that's when the real fun's going to begin. Barracks getting thrown up by Viper, and looks like he will be walling across the front here. So we should see Barracks and then a stable up pretty much next to it. Same thing should be for Liereyy. We should see Barracks and a stable up just here as well. What else have we got going on at the moment? Nothing really too exciting. Both players just really pushing their eco as much as they can. Deer doing its best. And luring in deer here as well, which, of course, deer just so quick to harvest the meat from. So both players here getting a really good advantage when it comes to the actual play. I would say nothing really special in the builds. This is a pretty standard scout build from pretty much all our players. And are these villagers coming forward, or are they just going to drop the stable? Looks like they're going to drop the stable. So stable comes down here, and we've got the tree there to complete the wood line. Stable over here for Viper, of course, as well. Like I said, the stable will be producing a little bit faster for Viper, but the free forging on the scouts for Liereyy will be kind of what, I guess, weighs that a little bit more. More palisades coming up here around the side as well. Looks pretty good. And the spear is out for Viper. Have we got a spear for Liereyy? I don't think so. So Viper playing this one a little bit more defensively. We'll run across with that spear straight away, because with the spear, does he get a hit? No. So sending the spear across as well will really help you out with your scout numbers, just because it means your opponent in low numbers can't really engage it. And essentially it means if your opponent does produce a spear to defend as well, you can just sit a spear on it. So that way you've got a little bit of a spear fight going down. And look at these faster working stables just kind of helping out a little bit more. Spear from Liereyy is brought out to counter the spear of Viper. Should just charge absolutely straight into him. And these two scouts, looks like they're just going to be able to start looking for somewhere to poke prod, do some damage, or find somewhere to just be really annoying. But this is what I was saying. Spear fight basically happens in the beginning. Viper bringing in an extra spear here. And what have we got? Liereyy doesn't produce an extra spear yet, just keeps on the stable production by the looks of things. Scouts again looking for somewhere to be annoying. Can't really find anywhere thanks to the wall off of Viper, nice and early. Still needs to wall off this section, but not really too much over here that can get harassed. Can dive in top here if he wants. Oh, goes for the dive into the wood line, but Palisade Gate comes up very quickly from Viper, diverts these two units under the town center. Cops a couple arrows there, but it's not too far. And deletes off the gate, of course. Liereyy, again, just looking for some way to kind of push into this, but the spears now from Viper, there's a good number of them out. He can't really engage this now. He can engage the scouts, alright, even then the scout number's getting pretty high, but like I was saying earlier, actually, you can see the 3+3 compared to the 3+2, of course. And Viper going for a wheelbarrow behind this, really trying to get that eco lead. And looks like Lero's just waiting for the numbers here. Here come the rest of his scouts. Does have a hole here in the line. And here we go. Looks like we might see a little bit of a scout fight. We've got 6 versus 5. Liereyy does have the advantage here when it comes to tech and when it comes to numbers. And looks like he's just after somewhere to do some damage, but all the palisades have a little bit of construction on them. So there's really not too much you can do. You can dive on top of these spears if he wants to, one at a time. He does have enough scouts to kind of justify that. And let's have a look. Dives on top. Gets the 1 spear, dives on top again, gets the 2nd, goes for the 3rd. Here come the fast walls from Viper. It's not enough though. The scouts do jump through, should potentially get the villager here, and it looks like it's going to get close enough to the town center that it's going to push those scouts away. And Viper's scouts, of course, going to come in off the back. Here comes the Palisade Gate as well, denies the entry across here. Oh, destroys the Palisade Gate. Viper, though, looking for the fight. Liereyy sitting on top of the hill, wants that advantage. Oh man, this is just a dance right now from both players. Viper actually finishes up his walls on this side, so he has to run under the town center to get out. More walls to push them further past the town center. Let's having a look here. Goes for the dive on top of the villager. Doesn't get the hit. But more scouts taking damage. Oh, this is not the fight you want. Tries to get the fight on the villager and doesn't even get the villager there. That's a huge sacrifice there for Liereyy. If we have a look at the military count now, it is 8 compared to 0, and Viper's already made his archery range transition as well. We've got 2 archery ranges versus Liereyy, who's just looks like he's adding his blacksmith now. Hasn't even done that. But he has made the gold transition, so it looks like he wants to start bringing it now, which is nice. Has got his split lumber, so he won't lose all of his wood from that single push, which is kind of nice. Viper coming forward with the villager, though. First archery range comes up from Liereyy, a little bit behind. Like I was saying, Viper's on his double. Actually went the double range, then blacksmith, whereas we had Liereyy go for the blacksmith first. And Viper bringing forth the woodcutter. I hope everyone knows what this is. It looks like it's going to be a hop. So these trees here, if they're not part of this larger section of trees, can actually be... There we go. runs straight through the tree hop. I'll go back and explain that in a minute. But Viper breaks through into Lierey's base. Liereyy has nothing at home to defend this 10-0 and actually goes down for his extra resources as well, or research on top of these scouts. Gets bloodlines. Liereyy tries to just ferociously push up a tower here. The scouts jump on top of it straight away. They have so much HP now. We even saw, I believe it was Fletching came down on top of these archers as well with a 4+1, and it is a massacre under the town. Oh man, this is just a massacre under the watchtower now. Look at how many villagers have been lost here. We'll try and run into the lumber camp, and oh no, he can hit the villagers in the lumber camp from the tower, so no murder holes, of course. Gonna be able to do the damage there. Liereyy has gone for Castle Age, but 36 compared to 27 villagers. He throws in the towel. That is GG. So just running back over here for a second to explain what happened. If you have a straggler tree like that where it's not part of afforestation, essentially, I believe it's the way it actually spawns. Basically, if you chop it down, you can immediately place a building over that. You'll know it if you do it around your town center with farms. Same thing goes for these little straggler trees that are out across the map, as long as they're not past with forests, from my understanding. So Viper's come forward with the villager, cut it down, dropped a palisade, deleted the palisade straight away, and just ran the scouts in. So very, very important lesson when it comes to, you've got to be very, very careful when you build your outer walls, because if you do use trees like that in that wall, that's exactly what can happen, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. This was a little bit of a shorter one for a Friday, so I don't know, maybe I'll do an extra surprise one sometime next week. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out the entire semis. I'll put a link in the description to myself and Nilly casting it. We had an absolutely great time. Then follow it on to the finals as well, which was fantastic. So hopefully you guys all enjoy that, and we'll see you here soon. Have a good day, guys.